Hey guys, today's episode is a Patreon only episode. So while we are releasing part of it to everybody, if you would like to get access to the full episode, please sign up for our Patreon. There will be a link for that in the description of this podcast. Hope you enjoy.
Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of the Suited Kings podcast. As Wes mentioned earlier before the intro song here, this is going to be an episode that we are going to be releasing on Patreon. This is going to be part of our, effort to try and grow our Patreon, as well as release extra content for those who are hungry for more, who want to get better, who want to digest more poker content and enjoy the way we teach. So this episode will be going on there. If you're not already a Patreon subscriber, make sure to check the show notes. There'll be a link directly to that. We have many different tiers based on your financial decision, and there's different content for each one of those. Make sure to check the Patreon page out. And without further ado, Wes, let's get started here with today's episode.
Yeah, so today, both you and I had a deep run. Honestly, it's kind of insane. I feel like we both hadn't had a live score for a long time, like a real big one.
Well, when we say upper five digits.
Yeah, exactly. And then within the span of 2 weeks, we both get 3rd place in an 1100 for,
Right
you
after
know.
dropping back-to-back episodes called Why You Don't Run Deep in Poker
Yeah,
Tournaments.
exactly. So, the timing, it feels like it couldn't be any better. Um, but yeah, I think we both have spots from those tournaments we can review, but also, like, I think today we can just chat about, maybe how it can be mentally when you go through those long stretches of not getting a score and
But also
kind of
how
how
it
that
feels
is.
mentally and how to stay mentally focused when you're deep into those tournaments, when you're tired, exhausted, and trying to maintain focus and stay in flow state. Because I know I experienced some of that, and also some trouble with that in my deep run at the MSPT last weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true too.
Wes, what was it like going your entire career without hitting a score?
Like, okay, my entire career. Okay, but in all honesty, though, it is bizarre. Like, from 2021 to October 2023, I had a bunch of these final tables. I won a couple WSOP circuit rings. I had some second, third, fourth place finishes in, these multi-day
MSPT.
events.
Yeah.
MSPT's Fall Poker Classic, um, other random tournament. Bracelet events. I got third in the Gladiator. That was the biggest of all.
For 215K, right?
210, yeah. And
So sick.
And what's so weird is, like, I had this 2-year stretch, a little over 2 years, but really just 2 years where I had all these scores. And then I had a 2-year stretch where I did not have a live score in 5 figures. Like,
Yeah, it's
that.
poker's a crazy game, and considering how studied you are and how much effort you put into it, it can be painful. It can feel like, am I in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? Am I capable of doing this? Even though in the past I was, am I still? Um, yeah, all those feelings that we fight, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think for me, yes, there was some variance. There was some level, like, I don't, in 2024, was I was in a distance relationship. I'd maybe sort of wiped myself out in a few ways. I didn't put quite as much volume in, but still a decent amount. Um, but I think there was also something where after all those big scores I had in 2023, I sort of took my foot off the gas a little. And even though I knew, like, I shouldn't do that, and I knew that it was a possibility that I could, like, accidentally do that in a way. I still think I sort of did, in the sense that I don't know if it was just I wasn't studying enough or wasn't game selecting enough. Like, my biggest downswing happened in 2024 where a lot of it was from online cash, but it was more that even once the downswing sort of ended, I didn't really have that big live score to just jump
Influx the
way out of it.
bankroll, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and so, at a certain point, I was like, "Okay, cool." Like, this year I've been doing the bankroll challenge a lot, and I sort of was like, "Okay, like, I need to make sure I'm still, like, grinding the online stuff and making it work for myself even in these times without the big scores," and it was such a long stretch for me, um, and I do think I ran very well early in my career. Like, I think based on the amount of bullets I fired, I was lucky to make as many
You're
final
well
tables
ahead
as I
of
did.
UV, yes.
For sure, and I just sort of was like, "Okay, like, now this is a stretch where I'm going a little below EV, and that'll shift whenever it does, but I also just need to keep trying to get better at the game." And it can be tough too because you don't the confidence gets lower during those, stretches too, right? Like, no matter who you are.
Always, I mean, it's crazy because then you're losing energy focus towards the game and putting it towards, yeah, your doubt, your self-doubt.
Mhm.
I've definitely experienced that myself. Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about our runs the last couple weeks here. What you got third? Coincidentally, we both got third in 1Ks.
Yeah.
Yours was for 64K. Is that right?
Yep.
So,
64K.
how many entries were there?
718 entries. Yeah.
718. You got third for 64K. Um, let's discuss a few things regarding that run. Let's start off with mindset. Did you remember how you came into that tournament? Was the same as every other tournament in terms? Was there anything different about this tournament than other tournaments that you can remember that maybe had separated your result at all, or no?
I would probably say no. I think I think at this point, I had gotten to a point where I had sort of y have you ever had that y you have those times where you feel like maybe you're trying to force it or trying to do too much?
Yeah.
I feel like I had already sort of gotten past that where I'm like, "I'm gonna play free and just sort of, like, take the lumps as they come, hope it works out, try my best," and, actually, you and I had just recorded a podcast in person, kind of for old time's sake, and, I had gone to Canterbury directly from there, and so, maybe it was that, but,
Yeah, I guess
um,
that's a good point. Yeah.
yeah, but no, we you and I were at on day 1A, we were at the same table for a bit. I mean, yeah, I just won a couple flips. I had some hands that held up. I had one big cooler, like I coolered a guy late on day 1 where, I played queens in a pretty creative way. And I mean, I happened to flop a queen high board against ace queen when I had 2 queens, right? So that was just it was a four-way pot too. So that was like that turned the tides a lot for me. Like that
Right.
was
I mean, it's important, for our listeners to recognize that, like, it's not just playing well that gets you winning. It's primarily luck, but playing well over a large sample size will get you into those top podium spots at a more frequent rate.
yeah. And I think like there's just this feeling I sometimes get, like what came back to me in that tournament, I think was so on day 2, I was kind of grinding. I came into the day with 400 some thousand. I
Which
was
is a
sort of
big
in that
stack.
it was a big stack, but I sort of stayed in that range for a while. Like I had 500K at 20K big blind. Yeah, I think I was at anyways, I had a hand with jacks where I folded to a 3 bet and got shown aces. And I think that was one big turning point for me where I was like, this would be so easy to just 4 bet jam for like 26 big blinds or something. And I was like, but no, like this is the the player, the 3-bet size, and the spot where I just fold this
Yeah,
hand.
and it's easy to get caught up in those moments and then also lose, put it in, get called by aces and say, what else could I have done? I think there's a separation between great players and good players. A big separate, maybe not as big of a separation from good to bad, but the separation from great players to good players is that moment there is just being so locked in that your gut and your intuition are louder than the basic autopilot thoughts that you're having, and you're able to then dial into those and make more correct decisions more frequently and get yourself out of a bind which you were in that spot. I mean, for sub 30 big blinds with jacks here, mostly everyone's going broke. But because you made this fold, you were able to pull 60 something thousand dollars out of this. I mean, obviously that mixed with a lot of other decisions, but um,
Yeah.
I
I
find
mean,
myself, yeah, I find myself, and I align with that. It's like so many different times in tournaments. So I'm just on autopilot, just waiting for the results. And it's like sometimes I mean, if as much as possible, you need to get past autopilot and really dive into the deep gut intuitive flow state.
absolutely, and it's almost like I can't even fully explain why, like, it was partially the player, but also the way he 3-bet where it's like, I'm in raised to 40K, he made it 115, but it looked like he was gonna make it, like, 105, 110, and he might've, like, put a couple extra 5Ks on there, just be like, "Okay, let's get that." It's like, I could tell he was sort of thinking, like, "What's the most I can make it without him wanting to fold a lot of the, like, queen 10 suited type stuff?" And it's
Yeah.
like, "Buddy, I'm forget queen 10 suited, I'm folding pocket jacks."
And you,
But
and you were tuned in. I mean, it's as simple as that, so
yeah, and then now obviously an orbit or 2 later, I defended queen 7 of hearts, we flopped a flush draw, got it inverse aces, and we rivered a heart, so, like, that had to happen too, that I would have just been out in, like, 30th place or something had that not happened.
there's infinite minds that we're dodging throughout tournaments, and sometimes, we do step on them, but we get away from them before we get blown up, right? And I think hitting the flush there is one of them. It's like sometimes you don't get away, and you have just being busted from the tournament. I Again, it's just important to realize that we're gonna some of these things are out of our control. We're not gonna be able to always just win every tournament we play. We're gonna lose a lot, but yeah.
Yeah. I think if there's one more thing, because after I hit that flush and I had some real chips, after that, I felt like it was West time. I felt like I was
And that's
I
such a
it
good mindset to be in. I had that same feeling this weekend. Yep. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, it's time for you to do work. Yep.
yeah. But before that, I think the one other thing I'll say about that day 2, the same table as the jacks and the flush. Before that, when I had, 3, 4, 500K, there was a period of time where I opened 5 straight hands, maybe it was 4 straight, but at least it was at least 4 straight, and 3 of them I got 3-bet when I had the bottom of my range, and then the one time I had ace king, I just took down the blinds, and then it wasn't even that orbit, but later I had to raise fold jacks too, and it was like, I had so many hands that I just raised folded, and I think it's so easy to, like, get fed up there and just be like, "Oh, they're pushing me around," or I gotta make a stand," and it's like, that's not how it works. That's not
Yeah.
how it works at
Yeah.
all.
Isn't that funny?
Like, I know there are people, in fact, there are players who they do kind of push people around, but they do it to make them react that way where they're like, "Ah, I gotta make a stand," and that's where the real mistake comes, you know?
Yeah. I mean, taking a stand is a mistake in itself. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's not, we don't want to make decisions on feeling like we're getting bullied around. You're going to end up punting all the time doing that. So.
totally.
Hey, friends, as Wes mentioned earlier in the episode, this is a Patreon bonus episode. If you'd like to hear the rest of this, make sure to sign up to our Patreon. You can find a link to that in the show notes of this episode. If you have further questions, feel free to reach out to Wes and I via Discord, Twitter, anywhere like that. And we will see you guys with our next full episode.